Graffiti is often seen as vandalism, but to artists it's considered as a mirror of our society and just like any other art form. The Glass Recycling Company is calling on all eco-savvy graffiti artists to enter its TGRC Art for Glass Graffiti Competition for a chance to win 20,000 Rand, with the competition closing on the 31st of May. Now, this is also in an effort to draw Jozi residents' attention to the Glass Recycling Company's numerous glass recycling banks. To tell us more, we are joined in studio by Shabeer Jhetam, who is the CEO of the Glass Recycling Company, as well as Buitendach, and they're here to talk about this amazing competition. And so let's get straight into it. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate it.
Good morning, Pa. It's an absolute pleasure.
Are you happy with the light, Shabeer? And how it's shining on your face?
Well, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Let's talk about this amazing competition, this great opportunity that you're giving to artists out there who can stand a chance to win. I mean, it's a cash prize, but there's also exposure and a whole lot more that comes with that. Where did you guys draw the inspiration to want to do this from?
Yes, we wanted to do something different. We've run so many campaigns over the years, and we have over 4,000 glass banks in South Africa. And in the greater Johannesburg area, we have approximately 1,000 glass banks. But you know, people always say, how do I recycle? Where do I recycle? What do I do? So why we got onto this competition is to make glass banks. You have shown us what the glass bank looks like, which is great. But we want to make it look even prettier, sexier, to get people to add the fun factor. We believe recycling is cool, recycling is sexy. But a lot of people find it's still a problem, still see it as an issue. So, but by running this competition, we will get our artists in, and we also want artists to really express themselves, especially those who have who are eco-friendly and look forward to protecting the environment. That's a key part of our mission. And what we want to do there, hereby is get people, if they look at this bank and you know it's an attraction, it's a fun factor, then people will also want to go to these glass banks, because a lot of people want to recycle, but they don't know how and why. So that's why we want to create additional awareness, make them fun, and we will be getting 6 glass banks that will be branded by the 3 winners that we will get.
Let's talk about your love for graffiti and how you fell in love with it. I mean, I think it's always carried a certain negative tag. You know, it's vandalism, it's young delinquent young people roaming the streets with nothing to do. It's not a real career. What attracted you to what seemed so dodgy to most people?
Oh, well, I run a business in the Joburg CBD that's a tourism business called Past Experiences, and about 8 years ago, I sort of got into the graffiti world kind of by mistake, but sometimes the best things in life I think are by mistake, and fell in love with it, and then did a master's on the political graffiti at Constitution Hill's No. 4 prison. But you know, I think graffiti and urban art in general is incredibly important in a city like Johannesburg, particularly the inner city, because people do not have money to go to art classes, to have art in schools, to have art in their homes. And so by putting art on the streets for everyone, be it public art, graffiti, street art, I think it's incredibly important.
All right, so you guys offer all these little tours in the city. What are some of your favorite spots to see graffiti?
Oh, I mean, Johannesburg is the graffiti capital of Africa. We're absolutely huge for it. I don't know if people know that, and that's one of the reasons, you know, that this competition is so fantastic, is that it's going to put it on the map a little bit as well, and hopefully these things can work together. But I think Braamfontein has some fantastic graffiti. Newtown, always. I mean, Newtown, we had a huge festival yesterday, the Back to the City Festival, where people were competing. So all the pillars have been redone in the last day. Then Maboneng, of course, Jeppes Town, both have a lot of graffiti. So Johannesburg has lots of pockets, and then as a little bit of a different one, Westdene, residential area, has a lot of graffiti.
Shabeer, let's talk about how people can get involved, can enter this competition, and what the process is.
Okay, the process is simple. People go onto our website, tgrc.co.za. They click on the icon to enter the competition, and it gives you the full details on what you need to do. And what a potential entrant or an entrant has to do is to put in their details and send us some of their artworks, and then from there we decide on who are going to be the finalists, and then the top 3 finalists where we will choose.
And who's part of the deciding panel, and how credible are they?
Well, the deciding panel would include our communications agency, myself, and we would like to invite Joe as well, who is an expert on graffiti, who will be one of our judges as well.
And Joe, what would you say is the significance of having competitions like these that really, give credence to people who have talent, people who love the arts, but who may not necessarily have an opportunity through the formal channels? What does that do for the art itself?
Well, the beauty of graffiti is it's never been through formal channels. So this is great that it's going to give graffiti artists maybe a different platform, some exposure, of course. And I think it's for a good cause, because obviously recycling is so important. So I think these two things can work together so well. And, there's a prize, which is also great for a young, struggling, up-and-coming artist.
Joe, my final question to you. Constitution Hill, I mean, you studied some of the artworks or graffiti that was been left behind there. What were some of your reflections and your takeaways from
Well, I think
that?
the beauty of graffiti is it gives everybody a voice. And the prison, particularly from the sort of 70s onwards, you have the students of the uprising, numerous activists, as it gave them a voice, and they were obviously very emotional and they felt something, and so they left their mark on the prison walls. And we're now talking about 2019 and we still have that record, so it's absolutely amazing.
Shabeer, final words from you, just to encourage young people, anyone out there who feels that they do have the talent and would like to, continue being a graffiti artist or would like to enter the competition. How would you just encourage those who love this medium of art, but who also are maybe not so much into glass recycling? Just encourage us very quickly.
Well, there's so many excellent artists out there, and graffiti has always been seen as negative, but we're looking at legal graffiti, which is great. And we want to bring artists as well, because at the Glass Recycling Company we believe in thinking out the box, not just doing the traditional stuff. And also what we'd like to bring is disadvantaged artists into at the forefront of what's going on in terms of what their work, what they've been done, because they don't always get this opportunity. So we see it as ideal to work together with these artists who are brilliant, but they're just not getting enough exposure. It'll add value to them, and we believe it'll certainly add value to us in getting more people going to glass banks to recycle their glass. So we welcome entrants, and the more entrants, the better.
All right, thank you so much, lady and gent. All the best with the competition, all the best with everything that you're doing on these amazing tours. I should definitely get some of the prize money to pay you to take me on one of the tours.
You're welcome to enter the competition, please, Pearl.
And to come on a tour anytime.
Thank you very much. That was Shabeer Jhetam, who is the CEO of the Glass Recycling Company, and Joe Buitendach, who is an urban art guide, speaking to us about the TGRC Art for Glass Graffiti Competition, which is, of course, open to all graffiti artists and closes at the end of May. We're going to take a look at some of your final social media responses regarding our small town of choice, which is, of course, Stella in the Northwest. Let's take a look. All right, Malekutu says it should be easy to decide for all of us who've been voting since '94. I know and I've taken a decision already, and I know what I'm going to do. It is going to be one of the small and new parties. Okay, that's in relation to our question of the day, wanting to know who are you going to be voting for come the 8th of May. Liago says, I will not vote for anyone. I don't have hope for our government. Let those who benefit go and vote. We know we are watching. Right, Miki Moraba says, I've registered to vote on either the 6th or the 7th of May for a special vote, and I'll be voting for a better change, for a better South Africa. Isaac Mkunu says, yes, I've already decided, but I won't tell you which party. Howie says, I thought I will vote for smaller parties, but I think of not voting anyway, because we vote for people who will forget about us. Example, yesterday was Freedom Day, but people who work in retail were at work, and politicians just care about their pockets. They want us now, they want us after the 8th of May, Dololo. Ongama says voting does not bring freedom, it only produces corruption, technical recession, inflation and junk status into our country. The next one says, good morning, Pearl. For me, nothing I have got to say. This government, to be honest, my mother applied for RDP house. Until today, she doesn't have it. It will be hard to convince me to vote this time. The next one says the elections must be postponed so that the necessary charges can be laid on those that are known and suspected of misconduct. One can't vote for any party who has some members with no credibility. Kolani Ngwekazi says, yes, I'm going to vote for a party that is going to bring change in our lives and, of course, economic freedom. Well, this is Ronald from Aldos and says, I haven't really heard about such a place. Hi, Morning Live crew. I don't know the place, but you can see it's a beautiful small place, and this is from